Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Rurouni Kenshin AOSHI SHINOMORI, and I think it's probably better. I think it's better than Kenshin himself. That figure was unfortunately fairly disappointing. Despite Bandai making some really good figures in other licenses, I don't think this one started off very strong. I think they might be making a comeback though. This one definitely has some stuff to be happy about. Some stuff that's not great, but overall, first impressions, pretty solid figure. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. I like it. Seems that they don't want to flip the figures. I always want the figures where there's more window, but either way, good looking package. Overall, very pleased with that. So that's good. Some posing options back there. There's his buddy. Yeah, nice looking package, somewhat simple and subdued, but still pretty nice. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. I will say Big Bad Toy Store provided this review sample so I could show it to you guys as early as possible. And so if you want to get one, there's a link in the description below, but I haven't told you if it's any good yet, so let's see if it is. I think it's decent, at least. We'll see if I can find any problems with it, though. He's so dark and light at the same time. We'll try it like that. I don't want to wash him out, and I don't want him to be too dark either. So he stands about 6.5 inches. That's going to make him pretty close to 16.5 centimeters. I don't have Kenshin to put him up against because I sold Kenshin because his knees were so bad. So I can't show you that, but you can check out his review in the top corner there or in the description below. Alright, let's talk about the aesthetics. I have two first impressions. One, there's enough contrast and color going around there that it looks nice. But two, there's no shading at all, so it does look kind of plasticky. Luckily, the plastic is a nice matte to satin finish. It's not glossy or anything, so that's okay. And then the paint job, like I mentioned, is good enough. It's pretty clean. The gold line down the chest is good. The different kind of gold inside the jacket is fine. There's not a ton going on, but it's enough. It's enough to make him look okay. And then the faces are pretty clean. Nothing crazy going on with hair shading or anything like that. It's a fairly simple looking figure, but the character design carries it through, I think, and Bandai didn't really screw anything up other than lack of shading, so I'm okay with it. I think that's a good looking figure. On the shelf, it's going to look decent. It should be fine. So aesthetically speaking, I'm not thrilled with it, but I'm perfectly okay with it. I'll go 7. I think I can't go higher than 7 without more paint. You could argue 8 because it still looks good, but that's more so character design than figure execution. So you could go either way. I'll let you guys pick because it doesn't matter. Anyway, you can rate it whatever you want. So we'll go with that. Okay, for accessories, he has a total of 4 faces, all very nicely done. We actually get a little bit of blood, and that's not usually the case for action figures, so that's interesting. We get that. We do get the alternate Kenshin head with a lot of bit of blood, and they all look pretty darn good. For hands, not a huge assortment, but probably enough, and you do get a set of hands that have pockets for his hands to go into, and the one does have a peg hole on it for his big knife. His big knife that has a ball peg on it, and it does come apart in a couple different places. But you do get that, so that's pretty good. And then lastly, you do get his 2 more normal-sized swords. And yeah, that's a good spread of accessories. Maybe a swoosh effect would be nice, so, you know, there's that. But I'm going to say 7. It's still not a ton. It's not a ton. So it's good enough, for sure. Not mad at it, but I'm not especially happy about it either. Alright, so let's see what we have going on for his neck articulation. We're going to pop this off. Do it without messing up the hair, I suppose. There's no easy way to grab the hair. There we go. I guess that's pretty easy. And we'll pop this off. He is going straight ball peg. Yeah, I like it. The hair goes down pretty far, so it gets in the way. But he does have ball pegs, and a nice double ball peg is the best way to do a neck, unless you have some kind of like weird mech design or something unusual. So neck to head double ball peg, neck itself single ball peg. Other than the coat and hair getting in the way, his head's going to move around freely, comfortably, easily. Love it. Very, very nice. Now, he does have a butterfly joint, but it's his entire upper jacket piece, which is somewhat similar to the way Revoltech does their shoulders. It's not that, but it's not bad. They have a little bit of a cut going on back here for extra flex, but up here, like, you can't really tell that the jacket is separated because it's all the way back here. I think they handled this better than they did the trunks jacket. From the front, you can't really tell what's going on. Now, granted, it doesn't really offer that much. It's not bad. Like, I definitely like having it, and they didn't do a bad job at all with it, but it's not like the craziest amount of range. But I think it's the most they could get reasonably without also cutting over here. I think I probably would have, personally, enjoyed more of a butterfly joint that actually does something, because he still can't even bring his arms straight, even with it all the way over. But going back is nice, so, you know, it's okay, but there's definitely some downsides to it. Now, the shoulder is just basically your standard ball peg ball hinge, so you get decent range out of that, no real problems there. Bringing the arm forward or up is still screwed up because of the way the jacket is. I think they would have been better off, instead of doing this that they did with the whole thing moving, cutting into here, just behind the lapel, and letting the whole thing rotate some. Or just tuck in, because you still don't get very much range out of the shoulder there. So you're not going to have a lot of poses where his arms come across his chest, but otherwise it works okay. You do get a bicep swivel that's an obvious cut there, and double jointed elbow works nicely. Not the best thing we've ever looked at, that's for sure, but it's functional, so that's good. And then here's a cool thing, I like this. The whole wrist is on a ball peg, which is not like practical in terms of human anatomy, but for posing and with a jacket, you can't tell that the arm looks like it's actually broken, and it will give you extra posability there, so that's cool. And then your standard ball hinge wrist, that's helpful. He'll be able to pose his arms pretty well outside of bringing them across the chest. Now this is just a ball peg, feels like it's got to be a double. Really good range in there, so I like that. No real problems there. This piece flexes just fine to get out of the way, so that's good. These guys are on ball hinges. I mean, they're not really balls, but they're functionally ball hinges. Call it a universal joint if you want. So there's that. And then you do get another ball peg down here at the lower torso, which is kind of hard to manipulate, but it's in there. And so he gets really good range all the way around, and his jacket will get goofy looking if you don't pay attention to it, but just pay attention to it and you'll be fine. That's how articulation works. So yeah, good range in the torso. I like that a whole bunch. These are okay, the jacket pieces, no problems there. For the hips, pretty basic hips, which Bandai seems to not want to do all the time, but the basic hips tend to work really well, and he can kick up very nicely. He can go back a decent chunk. His crotch piece is fairly soft plastic, so really good range in the hips so far. Going out to the side, basically full on splits with zero crotch nugget. These are wonderful hips. Very, very nicely done. You do get your thigh swivel in there. I don't think there's any extra play, just a swivel, no balls. His knees are functionally really good, but they didn't try to make them look good. They're not good looking knees. They're not like hideous or anything because he doesn't have baggy pants, but they can definitely do better than that. It's not terrible, but it's not very good. Functionally good though. All right, and then for the ankles, pretty good range forward and back. Ankle rocker, different than you would expect. It doesn't work the way you would expect, but it does work really well. It's a very, very nice ankle rocker. And then the toe hinge is ugly, but well placed and functional enough. So, as I suspected, this guy does put Kenshin himself to shame. Unfortunately, this guy works really well. He poses very nicely. I'll give his articulation probably, well, the shoulders still kind of suck in terms of what you can actually do with them. At least they're not ugly though. I'm going to say 8. I like everything about this guy other than the shoulders. He's really well articulated. They put some nice effort into him. Still not the best looking figure, not the most accessory, so it's not like it's a standout in all of action figure history, but it's definitely a good release. I'm going to give it an overall rating of, I'm going to say 8 out of 10. If the shoulders were a little bit more useful, he'd be higher. Or if he had some more paint, he'd be higher. A few more accessories or a swoosh or something, easy 9. But yeah, this guy's way more fun than Rurouni Kenshin himself. The Mr. Rurouni Kenshin. He's not as good as this guy, so I would say that's unfortunate. It is, but this is a good one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.